Bismillah, Assalamu alaikum. In today's video, I'll be discussing a very important and common contention to the truth of Islam, namely the marriage of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to Aisha radhiyallahu anha. I hope in this video you will see how pathetic this contention is and why it doesn't work even in principle. Let's get started. So here's the contention. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam married Aisha radhiyallahu anha, who was 9 years old at the time of consummation. Since this is supposedly immoral, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ cannot be the model human being and a prophet of God. Moreover, supposedly this is rape, auzu billah, because a 9-year-old girl cannot consent. Let's get started on the refutation. First thing, the kuffar are assuming it is immoral to marry a 9-year-old girl. They need to prove this and they cannot possibly prove this. All these clowns are using here is intuition and feelings. There is a major problem with this. Vast majority of people throughout history have not thought of child marriage as something evil. This has happened throughout history and I'll give references for this as well. If morality is just based on opinions or feelings of people, then there is no objective morality because opinions and feelings contradict each other. The feelings of liberals will contradict feelings and opinions of people throughout history. That's just a simple fact. This is just one reference in regards to age of consent. It has been as early as 7. It was in the Roman tradition and probably was in the Christian church for centuries. Right? These are references for this, and this is something that's really undeniable. This has happened throughout history. The general response to this, my claim, is this: Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is supposed to be a role model for all times and places, yet he did something that is immoral according to the modern standards. That is why he cannot be a role model for all times and places. Here's the response. The Kafir response assumes that being a role model for all humanity means conforming to moral standards of all of humanity assumes. That is not the Islamic position. The Islamic position is conforming to the right moral standards, which are the Islamic ones, not Christian or liberal ones. Moreover, liberal and Christian morality are garbage. Why should Islam conform to it? Seriously, why should we conform to their morality? Now I'll deal with the point about the rape allegations. A'udhu billah. The contention is that rape was involved, a'udhu billah, because there is no consent since a 9-year-old cannot consent. Here is a response. Can these clowns prove a 9-year-old cannot consent? This has certainly not been the position of most people throughout history. It has never been the position. Again, this is just a matter of opinion. Why should we Muslims take the opinions of liberals or Christians or whatever seriously? Think about this. Another contention is brought up against this is basically the harm principle. Certain studies show that marriage for young girls or children has adverse effects. Firstly, there are multiple problems with studies such as this, such as the issues of correlation and causation, which atheists bring and liberals bring up when they are attacked on points of morality. When there is an issue of bias studies and involvement of other sociological factors which are not being considered. But there is a deeper assumption, I think that's wrong. That being that everything God tells us to do should lead to benefit and pleasure in this world. That is not the Islamic position. Islamically, this life is supposed to have hardship and pain and suffering. And it's not just for little girls, little boys, older boys. It is for everyone. That is the Islamic position. Why should we take this liberal assumption? This is not the Islamic position. It has never been the Islamic position. Liberals cannot possibly prove their assumptions are true and they cannot use intuitions as evidence because these are not intuitions, this is just their indoctrination. Vast majority of people don't believe these things. They haven't believed these things throughout history. So this cannot be something that's natural and intuitive. This is just their indoctrination. Christians can try to argue this, but they cannot defend their positions as well. Now, I would like to make a simple point in this regard. Someone can try to respond to what I have said is that just because something has been going on throughout history, that does not mean that is something moral or right. Let's agree with this for a minute, right? Just because some people believe this or most people believe that, that does not make it right. Okay, well, here's another point in this regard. Just because liberals or modern people believe something, that does not make it right either. Someone believing something, or most people at time or at all times or at a certain time believing something, cannot make something right or wrong in principle. It simply can't. So they need to prove this is something that's right or wrong, and they can't just use their personal opinion because that doesn't work. They have no justification for any of their contentions in this regard, which is why this is something no rational person should take seriously. Inshallah, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and share it. This is a really important topic, but to be honest, it seems most Muslims get really defensive in this regard where they really shouldn't, and they should try to focus on the truth and not on feelings and Western sensitivities. Inshallah, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and share it. Till next time, Assalamu alaikum.